Do you believe now that the Supreme Court has given the go-ahead to the Allahabad High Court to pronounce this verdict on Thursday, do you believe the uncertainty surrounding this entire verdict has gone away? Or was it best for the court to actually seek a judgment after this high-profile Commonwealth Games was completed with?
Well, now that the verdict has come, I think I can express myself candidly. It was a misconceived petition, and it has met the fate it deserved. Delivering a verdict, delivering a judgment is the most important and the culmination of any judicial process. And trying to interdict a judgment like this is really interdicting the judicial process itself. It should never have been done. Anyway, I mean, I'm sure the petitioner did it for good motive maybe, but this is not how the judicial system functions, and we must again remind ourselves that whatever may be the social fallouts or the political fallouts of the Ayodhya dispute, as far as the judicial system is concerned, it is yet another case. It should be treated like yet another case. The rule of law must prevail, and the case must be dealt with like any other case. And that is why the Supreme Court has summarily declined to interfere in this.
Do you though believe, Mr. Salve, that in present-day India and the politics that's relevant to this country in 2010, do you still believe that the Ayodhya issue is really resonant amongst large swathes of the population?
Well, you must understand what constituency you're addressing when you ask this question. The fringe groups who have gone into relative oblivion are waiting for this day when the Ayodhya dispute comes so that they can remind all of us that they are still on the face of the planet. They haven't created trouble for some time, they will start creating trouble now. So, for that, but for an average Indian, in 1992, there were two issues. The BJP had mobilized a lot of public opinion, a lot of public sympathy for the cause of the temple. The minority communities, after the overrunning of the mosque, were concerned as to whether that was the first assault on secularism and whether secularism will survive. In 2010, we have had in the meanwhile a Muslim president, we have a female president, we have a Catholic leader of the party in power, you have a Sikh prime minister, and you have a minority community chief justice of India. Secularism is alive and kicking in this country. So I don't think that is any longer an issue. We are 18 years plus. The nation has matured a lot since then. At 1992, we were a fledgling economy post 91. In 2010, the world is looking at us as a potential partner in power. So we have to learn to behave maturely, and I don't think Ayodhya has that kind of significance. Today the Indian, and I welcomed Rahul Gandhi's approach, today the Indian wants growth, he wants dignity, and dignity comes when poverty disappears. Dignity and poverty are bitter sworn enemies. I think those are the issues.
And we're so damn proud of that secular India, that India of 2010, which can look back at 1992 and say we've learned lessons from those dark chapters. Javed Ansari, closing comments from you before we wrap up this particular segment. The fear that Harish Salve raised about the fringe groups which stoked the fire, the communal fire in the aftermath of the Babri Masjid demolition, those fringe groups are still there. They may not be as alive, they may not be as resonant, they may not appeal to as much of a section of population as they did in 1992, but they're still there. How real is the danger that they pose?
Look, you cannot wish away their existence. They are still there, and their ability to influence events has diminished, but their ability to create mischief still exists, to a much lesser degree than it did in 1992, but it still exists. And in a country as vast as India, as diverse as India, which is multi-ethnic, multi-religious society, there are bound to be strains and there are bound to be such elements in the country. But this is a test for India's political class, for India's community leaders, and for all of us, each one of us as Indians. This is our test. If we cross this hump, we'll be able to bring about a closure to this unhappy episode in our lives, and we'll be able to put the ghost of Ayodhya to rest once and for all.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And what it'll also do in many ways is try and help alleviate this country's image, which has taken such a battering, hasn't it, over the last few weeks now because of all the mess around the Commonwealth Games and so on. The best thing for this country to do, like you said, Javed, is to stand up and take on the chin, whatever the verdict is, whichever way it swings, and we hope that's exactly what the people of this country will do. Thanks very much for the moment joining us, Javed Ansari and Harish Salve.